everyone, and welcome to the Waste World podcast. My name is Stefanie Valentic, and I'm the editor-in-chief here at Waste 360. Each week, Gage, who is not with us today, but he has a very exciting event that he is attending today. He's getting married, so congratulations. But each week, Gage and I will be joined by professionals, influencers, and community members for in-depth discussions on the world of waste. This week, we're joined by Castrol CEO Andreas Osbar. Andreas is an experienced executive in the energy industry with 20 years of professional experience, currently serving as president and CEO. He has held various roles in the global BP and Castrol organizations, and in his current role, he leads business across Canada, US, Mexico, Brazil, and Latin America. How are you doing today?
Very good, and congratulations to your colleague as well. Getting married is an exciting thing, so a good reason not to be here.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So let's go ahead and just hop right in here. Today, I really want to drive the business of sustainability and what it looks like in the oil and lubricant industry. So can you please just start off by talking a little bit about, what is the current state of the industry? What did sustainability look like maybe a decade ago, and how is it changing?
Yeah, sure. Look, obviously, lubricants is a very sort of big consumption pool, first of all, in the US. So there's roughly around 2.5 to 3 billion gallons of oil that is being sold each year in the United States. And out of that 3 billion, there's only roughly 1 billion that is collected, okay? And of that 1 billion collected, only roughly 20% are then sent to re-refining, right? Or to basically waste reprocessing. And look, 20 years ago, obviously, some of these ratios were even lower. But in the state and the mindset of lower carbon footprint and sustainability that we're in, some of these stats are staggering from my standpoint. So we've embraced it as an opportunity to launch our MoreCircular program.
That's incredible. 3 billion just seems like such a vast number. So where are the gaps for producers and the incentives to make products that can support this volume of what eventually becomes waste?
Yeah, what I would say is that so first of all, what we endeavor to do with MoreCircular is obviously to offer our customers professional waste oil collection, to channel all of that collection, or 95% minimum of that, into re-refining, and then to work with those re-refined base stocks to basically manufacture a new lubricant that performs of the same quality as its virgin equivalent, right? So as we embrace that solution, and we believe that there's a lot of customer demand for it, one sort of key impediment has been for a very long time the volatility and quality of the base stock. And that's where I think our biggest achievement is that we've worked successfully together with our partner Safety-Kleen to increase and standardize the quality of that re-refined base stock, to integrate it into as many lubricant formulations as we can. Going forward, we're confident to be able to do that into what we call conventional formulations, so lower end lubricants, as well as to entry-level synthetic lubricants. What we're currently working on, that also the high end, the most advanced applications that require fully synthetic lubricants, that they can be manufactured based on re-refined base stock. So there's a technical challenge that I think we're trying to get to, which we are trying to overcome with increased R&D and research and development.
So we're talking about quality specifically. And can you talk a little bit more about recycled lubricants, and if they're the same quality as regular lubricants, and what are the cost savings for using a recycled product? Because that's a lot of thing that we hear is that sustainability. There's cost to sustainability, but what can we look at in terms of quality and the cost savings for a new product that is recycled?
Yeah, I mean, what I definitely can say is that formulating with a re-refined lubricant, or with re-refined base oil, you should say, compared to a virgin base oil, is different, and you need to adapt your formulation approach. So a finished lubricant usually contains out of two main components. One is the base oil, which is what we're talking about here, and then the additive pack, and then some additional ingredients, right? And we can certainly say that on the additional ingredients, as well as on the additive packs, we had to do quite a bit of adjustments to reflect the different characteristics of a re-refined base oil, right? What we're now proud to say, though, is that we've run extensive customer tests, trials in the field, and you cannot detect, or we cannot detect with all of the different analysis that we've run, a difference between a virgin-based lubricant and a re-refined or ROBO-based lubricant, right? So no customer now has to choose between, well, do I go for quality or do I go for lower carbon, right? They can have it all in one solution with our MoreCircular program, right? In terms of cost savings and everything else, I mean, obviously the cost structure between both approaches is quite a bit different, but at the same time, we also had to invest quite a bit of R&D into getting those formulations done. What I would say, though, is nobody needs to be afraid that our MoreCircular program or re-refined or lubricants based on re-refined base stocks aren't competitive. They can be very competitive. And again, they don't have to be a compromise neither in terms of quality nor low carbon footprint.
So that's very interesting because, you know, now that there's a choice, are there any logistical challenges to kind of scaling something, a new product that is recycled? And what exactly does that process look like?
Yeah. Look, obviously there are two logistical challenges. One is waste oil collection. You in the end of the day, you know, there needs to be at the point of consumption or where the oil change is being done, you need to have some sort of containment of the used lubricant, right? And in the end, you need to be able to get to that containment area and make sure that you collect the lubricants, right? So that is one logistical challenge. The other one is getting it from where the collection is then to a facility where you know, the lubricant is then basically cleansed and then treated so that it can be actually re-refined, right? Mm-hmm. And what we're really proud about is that with Safety-Kleen, we found a partner that offers quite a bit of scale with that, right? They can collect anywhere in the country, you know, base Portland, Oregon, down to Florida. And they also have a set of different refinery assets all across the country so that the transportation between where oil is collected and then re-refined isn't too great, right? And with that, we feel very confident that we've overcome most of the logistical challenge and that we can, again, offer our program at a competitive rate.
So you've mentioned a little bit before, but can you talk a little bit more about Castrol's MoreCircular program, how that's making an impact, what you're looking to bring more sustainability to the industry?
Yeah, so Castrol is part of BP, and BP, I think, has been at the forefront of recognizing climate change, and also our new strategy is to to transform from an integrated oil and gas company into an integrated energy company, right? And all parts of BP have a strong role to play into that. And we in Castrol believe that we have a huge mission to put the lubricants industry onto a lower carbon trajectory. And a while ago, we have launched our own ambition, which is called Path 360. And Path 360 foresees that by 2030, we aim to halve the carbon intensity of all of our products, right? And so MoreCircular has a huge role to play into that, right? Because if you analyze the carbon footprint of our industry, a lot of it is about, you know, what goes into the materials, right? And if you have a virgin-based formulation, in the end, you're putting crude into it, right? And by recycling it, we believe that, you know, between 40 and 60% of carbon emissions can actually be reduced, right? So it plays a very, very massive role, and we see that there's a lot of customer demand from it, both in the sort of fleet sector around, you know, transportation companies, industrial companies, as well as equipment manufacturers, for instance, in the car industry.
So thanks again for joining us today. I do have one more question. We're running short on time here, so we have to unfortunately wrap up. Many companies have announced and are working on 2030 sustainability goals. What does the future hold in regards to oils and lubricants and circularity?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more that can be done. And as I've alluded to, until 2030, we have made a commitment to cut the carbon intensity of our products by half. So what we believe is that MoreCircular is just the beginning. Our sort of strategic mission now is to integrate re-refined base stocks into as many of our formulations as we possibly can, also the higher end, more synthetic formulations. And then we want to replicate that kind of model in other markets across the globe, right? And there are some markets that seem more ready for that transition, and there are some that are less, but we want to lead that journey in the industry, and we're confident that we can do that.
Once again, thank you so much for joining me today and for talking to us about sustainability and circularity in oils and lubricants. It was great to hear from you, and we look forward to hear what Castrol has in stock for the future here. So for more content just like this and information on the waste industry, stay tuned to waste360.com. Be sure to follow our podcast on Spotify and other podcasting devices. And remember, it's our world. Let's not waste it. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.